finding help with structuring a business, and the list goes on. But during the last few months, this new project that I've been heading on with the kitchen, when I came into the association, all of this became kind of an easy transit for me. The association, even though they were just starting, and when they say membership has its privileges, I want you to understand that membership has its privileges. When I came into the association, they, as a young individual, they actually helped me, get this thing on the road from start to finish, from licensing to everything else. So membership has its privileges.
You know, I get the feeling, gentlemen, that there's a underlying view that the small businessman is left out, that there's no access, there's nobody listening. Is that the general?
That is very obvious. No matter where you go, whether it's to the financial institution, whether it's to successive governments, whether it's to the shipping company, whether it's to the insurance company, the small business persons are treated, unfortunately, but we can change that, as a second-class citizen. That's because the country in which we live don't see the value or the benefit in small and medium-sized business. Every developed country around the world, first world country, the United States, in Europe, in Canada, understands the importance and the value of small and medium-sized business.
Mr. Smith, you don't think sometimes small business people exaggerate how poorly they are treated in the Bahamas? What is the difference between your going to an insurance company to buy insurance, or some larger business employing 100 or 200 people going? What would be the difference in terms of treatment?
Well, the first major treatment that occurs, and that's probably a consequence of being small, which we'll change in the association, is he automatically carries the burden. He automatically gets a higher bill. That's the first problem he encounters.
You are suggesting that the small businessman wanting to insure a vehicle,
yes, sir,
or wanting to insure his property,
yes, sir,
will get a higher rate than a large business?
I'm talking about business insurance now.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Jones, for example, economies of scale is one of the aspects that negates against the small business person. For example, when he brings in a shipment through the shipping company, you look at the shipping rates. If you look at what it costs to bring in a pallet of his goods, which is the smallest, like the basic smallest components, which runs anywhere for, depending on the shipping company you go to, anywhere from $300 to $400. And you compare that with what it costs to bring in a 20 or 40 footer. He's paying a higher rate for that pallet than the larger. I know that's economies of scale,
yes,
but the reality is that's a fact, and he pays the higher cost. So we don't exaggerate when we say he pays the higher rates, because we encounter that.
Isn't the small businessman in the position to negotiate his rate as well, based on the amount of business that he is doing with the shipping company?
Because he is a small business, his effectiveness in negotiating the best rate to complete isn't there for him because of his size.
So how would the association and his membership in this association help him?
The association will go and do that negotiation on their behalf. So he doesn't go to the shipping company as ABC company with 2 employees. The association goes to that shipping, using this example, shipping company, and we negotiate for our members, which initially now is 100. By the end of the year, will be 1,000. We negotiate on behalf of our members. He now gets the better rate and gets treated through the association, as a big corporation. So he's going to get the better rate because of numbers. All right? Now, 2 major issues. Give an example. Governments around the world, when they're changing laws or they're putting policies in place, have to weigh who can get the bad end of these laws or policy or deals. Take, for example, the situation with the phone card situation which Patelco just announced. I said to my wife, every corner you go on, there's somebody selling a phone card. But you know the good thing about that? Where would he or she have been if they weren't on that corner selling that phone card? They're gainfully, honestly employed. Now, I don't want to get too deep into it, but here's my point. Batelco is about to change its distribution methods. And which is going to force a lot of them out of business. If they were members of the association, right now, who's defending for them? They think it's just one phone card person. It's literally hundreds, if not thousands, trying to earn an honest living. My point is, because they're not a part of an organization, as most small business were prior to the association, they don't get recognized. We become the voice for them. They become meaningful then.
Jones did a program where it came out that we have a large segment of what we call the informal society.
Yes, sir.
And these people who are selling phone cards, the vendors on the side of the street, some of the hair braiders, they comprise the informal economy.
Yes, sir.
So what you're saying now, you want to formalize them and bring them into the formal economy?
Yes.
How can you formalize the informal sector?
Well, that's what you have governments for.
No, you're not a government.
No, but it starts there. We elect government in democratic society to create the environment, to create the framework, to put the right legislation and policy in place, hopefully after consultation with the stakeholders, to do these things. If you don't put these things in place, you have what we have. These people want to earn an honest living.
Yes, but the informal sector in the society represent a group of entrepreneurs,
yes, sir,
who find things to do.
Yes, sir.
For instance, the person who's selling phone cards, or the person who's selling the newspaper on the side of the street, or the fruit vendor, or somebody selling crabs on the sidewalk, right? These people are in the informal sector. Now, how can the Bahamas Business Association regulate the informal sector?
Formalize it.
No, it's not. It is not our purpose to regulate or formalize. Here's where what we say. Think about it. If these people weren't employed, you think we got a bad unemployment situation now? What if these persons weren't earning an income or weren't working? Then we'd see some real challenges in this economy. But we don't regulate.
Yeah, but as I did the program with the national insurance people earlier, they talked about the young man who is washing a couple of cars. Yes. He is self-employed, and he ought to be paying national insurance contributions.
Yes.
How are you going to regulate the informal sector? Because that young man who is washing cars, whether he's going from one lot to the next or house to house, he is employed.